Alright, hey guys, welcome back. We are currently in the top 4 at the Battle City Premier Challenge, featuring Ben Rothman and Ryan Lin. Ryan, you'll see his team is Amoonguss, Politoed, Kingdra, Talonflame, Bitsharp, and Manectric. If you follow the VGC 14 scene at all, you'll recognize this is a very familiar team. Kiwon, a very popular Korean player, has been using this team throughout the entire season, and this is a very solid team. He's really popularized Rain. I'd say one of the defining teams in VGC 2014, and we don't see Rain that often, but Ben's team is Scyther, Kangaskhan, Rotom, Garchomp, Salamence, and Mega Mawile. So we might actually see an appearance from Scyther in this match. I would really love to see that, but interesting to see Rain here, and one of the reasons why I wanted to choose Ryan to be on stream was because I knew we'd see Rain. Rain is an archetype that we haven't seen as much in VGC 2014. Of course, we often talk about weather in VGC, but it's difficult to use Rain, especially because Politoed lost Helping Hand and Icy Wind. Kingdra's Draco Meteor's power was decreased. It doesn't even get Dragon Gem. And of course the 5 turns in weather as well, but both players shaking hands now. We're going to get into the first match in a best of 3. Ben, of course, the trainer on the bottom, Ryan, the trainer on the top. And one of the interesting things about Kiwon's team is he has, heavy Rain in Politoed and Kingdra, but then he has all these other Pokemon that don't need Rain to properly set up. So a lot of times when I played Kiwon, he would actually lead with non-Rain Pokemon. Ryan here is going to lead with Kingdra and Bitsharp against the Scyther, yes, and the Kangaskhan. Single Mom coming out, and the Scyther coming out, so really excited to see what Scyther can do. Of course, Scyther, you can definitely expect the Eviolite on it, but beyond that, I really don't know what else it can do. Bitsharp also a Pokemon that's picked up popularity a lot in VGC. A lot of players have been using it. You can expect Focus Sash, Choice Band, or Life Orb. Those are really the 3 moves, 3 items that we see most onto it. And it pairs up interestingly, especially with the move Assurance, which if you get some damage off onto a Pokemon beforehand, the Assurance will do double the amount of damage. So that might be an effective way in taking out the Scyther. However, Bitsharp, one of the most scariest Pokemon it has to deal with in VGC 14 is Kangaskhan, because Kangaskhan gets a double up power-up punch onto that Bitsharp. Bitsharp probably going to want to stay in here because it's just going to feint to a power-up punch. So really nice lead by Ben here. I think he's in a really fantastic position, and Scyther will really see what it has to offer here. I've never seen Scyther been used in the last 2 seasons or so, and the only time I saw it was when Wolfie tried to build a crazy team with it, so it should be fun to see. Kingdra is going to switch out into Acid, the Politoed. He's going to set up the Rain, good also to boost Kingdra's speed in the next couple of turns. And here we're going to see a double switch actually, wow, okay. And I suspect, okay, the Manectric coming out, so that is going to get the Kangaskhan's going to Mega Evolve, and now we'll see what Ben decided to do. If Ben went for the power-up punch here, that would be pretty bad for Ryan, and we see that the Scyther went for the Safeguard, wow. Kangaskhan just opting to go for the Return. Return is going to hit that Politoed, and wow, that did a lot. And we see the, looks like it's, eject button, yep. The Safeguard from Scyther, really interesting move there. Not really sure what it has to really much to offer in the position, but it blocks any potential spores from Ryan. However, now Ben knows all 4 of Ryan's Pokemon. Kingdra does come out safely once again, though. So now the Rain is set up for Kingdra, so not only is its speed increased, it can also get a powerful Rain boosted attack, Water type attack onto both Pokemon, and Manectric here can also Mega Evolve and intimidate the Kangaskhan. So Ryan's Politoed taking quite the beating the last turn, but not in the worst of positions, as he is able to safely set up the Rain and bring in the 2 really main attackers of his team in Kingdra and Manectric. The eject button is an interesting item that I'd like to talk about for a bit. We often see citrus or leftovers on Politoed. Eject button makes it nicely so that you can do exactly here. Bring out the Rain and then set it back up. Now we're going to see Kangaskhan actually switch out, not wanting to take any potential intimidates. Rotom is going to come in. Rotom Wash, really great against the Rain matchup in general. And we're going to see Manectric Mega Evolve here. That's going to get the Intimidate off onto both Pokemon, but nice switch there by Kangaskhan. We're going to get the Intimidate off onto both Pokemon. Scyther is huge in comparison to Rotom Wash. Scyther is really big, actually. We see the Muddy Water come out. It is going to hit both Pokemon. Let's see how much it does to that Scyther. Now we get a feel of how bulky Scyther is. Look, it doesn't even do a 50%, but the Thunder is going to come off. Going to hit that Rotom Wash, and that's going to be a powerful attack. Not enough to take it out, though. Rotom falling down, able to heal back from that Citrus Berry, and now Scyther is going to get an attack off. Going for the Struggle Bug. I don't even know exactly what that does. Is it? Oh, what was the special? Oh, Snar, right, okay. So, lack of a struggle bug there. Really, really great against this rain team, though, yeah. But what's interesting now is you see the struggle bug from Scyther, but Bisharp, if it does choose to switch, and actually gets a Defiant boost from that Scyther struggle bug because the special attack is decreased. So Ryan, with this knowledge, might actually decide to say switch out and go into his Bisharp, which would increase his attack by 2. And we do see a switch out here. The Kingdra opting to switch out instead of the Manectric, and what's going to come back in? It is going to be the Bisharp, so let's see if another struggle bug comes out. Thunder being launched once again, this time targeting the, looks like Scyther. So that's going to pick up the knockout there, okay. With the critical hit there, I was kind of hoping to see the Bisharp. What? Oh no, it didn't matter at all.
Oh, okay, great.
Oh, at all? I'm not sure.
I'm so good in this game that I don't need to count.
But we do see the Hydro Pump miss there, unfortunately. That was big on Ben's end. Hydro Pump from Hydro Pump is huge. But you know, I really wanted to see that Bisharp pick up the struggle bug +2, but unfortunately Scyther falling down here and a miss on Hydro Pump. That was really, really big. Now, Ben is able to bring in Kangaskhan safely though, and Kangaskhan, you know, if it is able to get this power-up punch off, which because the Bisharp is actually choice banded, you can tell already this is a pretty much exact copy of Korean player Kiwan's team. Kangaskhan will be able to get a free power-up punch off of that slot. Neither Kingdra or Polytoad resist that. That's going to bring Kangaskhan to +2, and a +2 Kangaskhan really beats the entire rain matchup. So even though Ben had a really poor turn the last turn, losing his Scyther and missing his Hydro Pump, he's still in a fine position because Kangaskhan, of course, just such a good Pokemon here. Now, actually thinking about it, since the Manectric was at -1, I'm not exactly sure whether that critical hit mattered or not, but my lack of, it shouldn't have mattered, especially since Thunder is such a powerful attack. But of course, you know, who knows their Scyther and Manectric counts. Rotom Wash here is going to switch out into Garchomp, blocking out any potential blocking out any potential electric type attacks, but wow, we see the double target onto that Kangaskhan. Brilliant play with the Sucker Punch and Thunder, and that is going to pick up, oh, that's not going to pick up the KO. Power Up Punch here is going to come out, but it's going to target the Manectric instead of the Bisharp, and I think Ben really needed to target the Bisharp there. Because the Bisharp, of course, Ben doesn't know yet that the Bisharp is carrying the choice band, but now seeing how much damage that Sucker Punch did, he probably can assume that. Unfortunately, however, I think Ryan's gotten to the point where he's controlled a lot of momentum, and now he is in a really fantastic position. That was a great play on his end, even though that did not KO the Kangaskhan. Still did a lot, and because the power-up punch went into the Manectric instead of the Bisharp, he's in a really, really good position, especially with that Kingdra still waiting in the back. Of course, Rain is going to end soon, but the Polytoad also can just switch out once that Rain comes back in. So, Struggle Bug, really doing work for Ben here, as it was able to decrease the attack power of Manectric. Manectric going to switch out here, a smart play since it is at -1, and we're going to see the Kingdra come back in, but the Sucker Punch is going to fail there. Both Sucker Punches failing, as we see the Rock Slide come out from the Garchomp. That's going to do, oh wow, it looks like a critical hit onto, oh, not even. Surprising amount of damage output there, but both players blowing their Sucker Punches there. Now Kangaskhan, of course, faster than the Bisharp, but Bisharp now locked into Sucker Punch as well. Kingdra, actually, Rain is gone now, so the Rain did disappear. However, Ryan can now just, say, pull up another switch, then set up the Rain again for Kingdra to sweep. But of course, Kingdra is at the point where it's actually going to faint from a Sucker Punch, so Ryan's going to play carefully. And if Ben goes for the Sucker Punch, then Ryan's Bisharp won't be able to Sucker Punch the Kangaskhan. Of course, Sucker Punch, the way it works is it's based off speed, and Kang can just safely dodge Sucker Punch from that Bisharp. So while Bisharp is really scary and it's a big threat, Ben's actually not in a bad position at all right now, and we're going to see Ryan actually withdraw the Kingdra, so smart play, not wanting to get Sucker Punch there. Polytoad's going to come back in, and that's going to activate the Rain again, so another 5 turns of Rain it's going to be huge for Ryan in terms of using his Kingdra, but of course, Kangaskhan is really, really annoying to deal with right now. We do see the Sucker Punch go off once again. Garchomp this time going for the Sucker Punch, failing once again. Not sure if Ryan is aware, but it's not going to work ever on Kangaskhan. His Rock Slide goes off once again, and Ben is slowly turning things back into his favor. Once again, Kangaskhan can repeatedly Sucker Punch over and over again, and that leaves Ryan's Bisharp not able to touch the Kangaskhan. So he should have been Sucker Punching the Garchomp instead, but instead the Bishop has wasted the last 2 turns, and Ben really pulling things back into his end. I really thought after the turn he targeted the Manectric, like he would be in a lot of trouble, but he's actually using the Bishop to his advantage. You know, knowing Bishop's locked into Sucker Punch, he can safely Sucker Punch with his Kangaskhan, leaving that Bishop essentially useless, but since it's not targeting the Garchomp either. But of course, now he's he can just go for the Sucker Punch, say, onto the Poly. Garchomp might want to actually switch out into the Rotom because that ensures that neither Pokemon end up getting attacked. Instead, if he doesn't switch out the Garchomp, then Garchomp will be taking a Sucker Punch from the Bisharp, but we'll see. Of course, Ben can always make some crazy plays, and he can actually just power, you know, he might decide it's finally time to just power up Punch, realizing that the Sucker Punch is going to go off into the Garchomp, but we will see. This is a really interesting battle. Ben, you know, slowly bringing things back in his favor. Both players finally moving. Oh wow, the Sucker Punch does go off into the Garchomp, but it looks like the Kangaskhan didn't Sucker Punch this turn, as the Dragon Claw does come off onto that Volleytoad. Oh my. And that's going to be a KO there, and we're going to see a power-up punch onto this Bisharp, and wow. Brilliant there by Ben. That completely turns things around. Essentially, now Kangaskhan, of course, is its attack is even higher. Ben proving why he is the world's caliber player he is. If you guys don't know already, Ben got first at Virginia Regionals last season after a first place finish at Apex, then got second at Massachusetts Regionals, topped it up with a top 32 finish at US Nationals, and finally a 3-3 finish at Worlds. Both Pokemon going to come in now, but as you see, they're both so frail to the point where Sucker Punch can KO either. The game's not over yet though, because, you know, both of Ryan's Pokemon actually outspeed that Garchomp. So Ben can choose to Sucker Punch one Pokemon, but that'll allow Ryan to, say, pick up a KO with the other Pokemon. Now, it's 3-2. Of course, Ben still has that low HP Rotom Wash down in the back. So Kangaskhan, say, Sucker Punches the Kingdra Care and Kingdra Protects, and let's say Manectric picks up a KO onto the Kangaskhan, then Kingdra can just safely Muddy Water the next couple of turns. So now we've got some Protect mind games. Who does Kangaskhan target here? He's got to target the right one. If he doesn't target the right one, he is in some trouble, because Kangaskhan is going to get the Sucker Punch up. Neither Pokemon protecting, actually, and it is going to pick up the KO on Kingdra. So chooses the right one, as neither Ryan's Pokemon actually protects, and we are going to see a Hidden Power Ice come out of the Manectric, targeting the Kangaskhan, but the Garchomp here will be able to Earthquake, so another nice play by Ben. Ben knowing that the Kangaskhan was going to faint there, so Ben takes game 1 in a really nice there. The power-up punching Bisharp was a huge play, and Ben able to seal up the game. You see why he's such a good player there. And Scyther actually doing some work with that first Struggle Bug. So we're going to go into game 2. I'm just going to quickly update the records here. Okay. And a quick update, Enosh won his top 4 set, so he is in the finals now. Pretty much essentially sealing up his World's invitation.
I think he still would have been like at the Mercy or whatever.
Ben, what was your last?
Rotom. It was low HP Rotom. It was in muddy. They were all in muddy water range.
No, Manectric. I don't think Manectric would have been able to take that here in Garchomp.
No.
His chance.
Huh? We got another map. Yeah. Still there. I just sing good luck.
Alright, hey guys, we are now into game 2, after Ben had a brilliant comeback in game 1, making the correct play, waiting the Sucker Punches out, and finally going for the power-up punch. Now, once again, you'll see Ryan's team is Amoonguss, Polytoad, Kingdra, Talonflame, Bisharp, and Manectric. Saw some important knowledge last game. Bisharp, does have the Choice Band. Kingdra is actually carrying a Choice Specs, and for Ben's side, we saw the Scyther do a lot of work. So Ryan might want to adjust to beat that Scyther properly. Scyther took a Muddy Water really like a champ in that first game, even Brave boosted, still, Choice Specs too, still hung out with over 50%, so really cool to see Scyther actually doing work, and you know, people always comment, oh, VGC, like, it's the same Pokemon every time, but here we see Scyther being used, and Scyther was really one of the key points in winning game 1 for Ben, is he was able to decrease the attack with Struggle Bug, an attack that we don't see very often. Yeah. So we'll be starting game 2 now. Let's see. Of course, Ben Rothman is the trainer on your bottom, Ryan is the trainer on your top, and Ryan's going to go with his rain leads this time, going straight for Polytoad and Kingdra. Ben going for the Scyther and Kangaskhan lead once again, and I have to say the advantage is to Ben right now, because Scyther can just safely struggle bug. But of course it's interesting, you can't just struggle bug, you know, everywhere, because then the Bisharp can safely come in and actually take the +2 boost instantly. So that's something that Ben will have to watch out for. He can't just say struggle bug right away. You know, last game Ryan did switch into his Bisharp, but then the Scyther was KO'd before that. Neither Pokemon are going to switch here though, so I'm going to guess Ben is going to take quite the advantage here. You see the 191 HP onto Ben's Kangaskhan, revealing that it is relatively bulky. It is going to Mega Evolve there. We do see the Muddy Water come out, so there's no, the Power Up Punch or the Return coming out of Kangaskhan does a lot of damage to them. And Scyther does go for the Struggle Bug, but because Bisharp did not switch in, that is going to decrease the attack of both, special attack of both Polytoad and Kingdra. I was hoping I'd see the Bisharp switch in and take the boost there. Polytoad is actually going to switch out there because of eject button. How crazy would it be if we saw Bisharp switch in field and Kangaskhan get the Power Up Punch off? That would make me go crazy. But Ben, I'd say definitely getting the advantage on the first turn. I was really expecting a switch out there, but instead the Muddy Water just going offensive. And then actually he's going to on the Power Up Punch, wow, right into there. So yeah, I was really hoping the Bisharp would come in there, but Ben going really aggressively, and that was smart because he knew that the Scyther would be able to struggle bug there, which would actually send out the Polytoad. So he knew he could safely target that slot if Polytoad did not protect. And now that the Kangaskhan is at +2 and you know, the Kingdra is locked into Muddy Water, and it is at -1 from that struggle bug, so really great turn by Ben there. Semi-aggro aggressive, but Ben is really making the plays, and Scyther is once again the MVP in this rain matchup. It's unbelievable. How much work he really put in. And then actually Gidaptusim is going to Mega Evolve here, but once again Ben is in a really good position. Still going to be at +1 after the Intimidate, and Scyther can still just launch some struggle bugs here and there. The question is whether Kangaskhan wants to Sucker Punch or not. Of course, he does have the +1 Sucker Punch, and they can target either Manectric or Kingdra. You know, you want to conserve your Kangaskhan, your Kangaskhan when you get a boost up with Power Up Punch. So, you know, when it's already at 77 low HP, which is relatively low, it's a question of whether you want to, you know, you just have to make sure you play with it safely, because otherwise if you carelessly lose it, then the boosts are all basically for nothing. We saw earlier in Top Cut, Tommy, you know, tried to take advantage of a boost onto the Azumarill, getting a belly drum off, then Azumarill did absolutely nothing. So if you're going to go for a boost, you know, you better be good boosting, because moves like Power Up Punch and Belly Drum are often weaker than actual attacks, so you need to take full advantage of it, otherwise you're just missing out on damage that could have actually been done. For example, if the Kangaskhan just went for the Return there instead of the Power Up Punch, would have been able to pick up the KO. The Power Up Punch was definitely the safer play, one that I agree with. Kingdra is going to switch out, getting rid of that decrease in special attack, and Bisharp's going to come in now. We are going to see the Manectric Mega Evolve. That's going to intimidate both Pokemon. Big in trying to bring this Kangaskhan down back, and that's going to be a -1 onto both Pokemon, of course. The question is whether Manectric goes for an attack or whether Kangaskhan Sucker Punches that or not. Wow, Manectric's just going to get the Thunder off onto Kangaskhan, then not Sucker Punching here. Let's see how much damage it does. Oh, wow, it takes it out with a critical hit, not really mattering there, though. And Scyther going for the Roost there, but that was a really great turn by Ryan. He really needed to KO that Kingdra, which was a big threat, and he was able to do that perfectly. So, Ben is in not in as great of a position. I think Kangaskhan is really his key to winning this, but he's still perfectly fine. Rotom Wash comes out. Rotom Wash does get the boosted Hydro Pump, but now Manectric and Bisharp can double up on the Rotom with, say, a Thunderbolt or a Thunder and Assurance. As I said, Assurance is a move that's picking up popularity on the Bisharp. And yeah, Ryan got caught a lucky break there, escaping from the Kangaskhan. We are going to see the Volt Switch do a lot to that Rotom Wash. I'm really expecting an Assurance from that Bisharp now, though. And Rotom Wash is really Ben's only other way up, in my opinion, of trying to getting back into this game, because it will also drain pretty nicely. Oh, Scyther going for that Struggle Bug. That's going to activate the Defiant there onto the Bisharp. Kingdra's special attack going to decrease, but now Bisharp is quite of. Oh my god, we do see the Assurance. That is going to be +2 boosted Assurance. can't really ask for much power in the VGC 2014 format than that. Wow. And so Scyther falls down now. We do see Garchomp come out, and it's interesting because even though the Bishop is at +2, it still can't Sucker Punch, but Kingdra is in safely now, so Kingdra can say just Draco Meteor here. Honestly, I think Ryan he's in such a good position. I'd be very surprised to see him lose this one. Even if Garchomp protects here, Ryan can still get that +2 assurance off onto the Scyther. Scyther really not going to be able to do that much right now. Of course, Kingdra's special tech is decreased by 1 from the Struggle Bug earlier on, but still, he is Choice Spec, so he's still probably going to be able to pick up the KO. We do see 2 choice users here in both Kingdra and Bisharp. And yeah, no, he's got his back up against the wall, dealing with currently down 2-4. Really wish to see the Sucker Punch the previous turn, but it is what it is. And Ben played the mind games well in the first game, but in the second time, Ryan was the one to come up top. It's very hard in a best of 3 to predict your opponent perfectly in each given set. That's why you like seeing best 2 of 3. You see both players making adjustments. I think Ryan's doing a pretty good job here. Now that's going to come down to who's going to protect. Kingdra is at -1, but like I said, it is carrying the choice specs and it is modest, so Draco Meteor is most definitely still a KO onto that Garchomp, unless Garchomp has something like Pop and Berry. But let's see. This turn is taking quite a long time, almost using up the entire timer, but this is really one of the most important turns in the game right now, so it makes sense. We're going to see the Muddy Water come out. Oh no. Is Garchomp going to get the Earthquake off? It does! Oh! That's exactly why I said I wanted to see Kingdra just go for the Draco Meteor. That's the exact play Ben needed to make to win this game, not protect there. By not Dracoing there, Ryan has put himself in a huge hole. Of course, he still has Manectric back in the back, which can just hit him Power Ice, so it's not over yet. Ryan still got a huge lead, but if he just went for the Draco Assurance there, I think he would have been perfectly fine. Like I said, he's modest, and he is Choice Deck, so that's probably a KO onto that Garchomp, especially seeing how much damage Muddy Water did. Manectric's going to come out now, getting the Intimidate off, and it's hard to see a Scyther and Garchomp beating a Manectric when Manectric has HP Ice, but of course the game's not over yet. But honestly, once that Garchomp falls down, I think Ryan's going to be in a good enough position to seal it up by double targets. Ryan just needs to make sure he has 2 Pokemon on the end to deal with Scyther. Scyther can boost all at once, but not when he's taking 2 attacks in the same turn. And yeah, I think the Sucker Punch Assurance play was really the right thing to go with last turn, because if Garchomp protects, you just Draco Meteor the next turn. If it doesn't protect, then that's then you just pick up the KO. And in this case, Ben making a really good play, really I think his only play to try to get back into the game. And Scyther's boost is really proving to be a tank now. But once again, Ryan's still in a decent position as he's got a Kingdra and a Manectric out, but Scyther still threatens both with Struggle Bug. HP Ice at this point, a KO onto that Garchomp, but you'd expect that Garchomp might actually go for the Protect this turn. And that Kingdra, because of not going for Draco Meteor, still has the all its special attacks, so it can safely Muddy Water or Draco Meteor. But Scyther is very bulky. We might see something like a Muddy Water and a Thunder. Garchomp does make the Protect. I think that's the play Ben needed to make in order to stay in this game. We do see the Muddy Water come out instead of the Draco. Does hit the Scyther, that's good. Let's see how much damage it does. At -1, not going to do too much. Then we do see the Thunder though off onto the Scyther. Let's see how much damage this does. Super effective Thunder picks up the KO into the Scyther. Wow, and that's gonna be a win for Ryan there. Missed out on a bunch of opportunities the previous turn, but regardless, because of his smart play and his ability to KO Ben's Kangaskhan earlier on, he is going to be able to seal up the win there. But wow, this is quite the best 2 of 3 set right now. Excuse me, my throat is itching. Really nice adjustment this time. Ryan is going to switch out Kingdra to bring out Polycode. Going to activate the range just in case, but Hidden Power Ice is going to be a knockout on Garchomp regardless. And very nicely done by Ryan this time to make some adjustments and pick up the win. We do see the HP Ice come off, and that is going to be a KO onto that Garchomp as Ryan evens the series at 1-1. So now we have Game 3. It all comes down to this, to see who advances into the finals to play Inosh.
Defensively, it's solid. You don't have much damage. Got a good set. This was the right set for straight hill. Because mine was embarrassing.
I want to be VGC if I can already. It is 31. Yeah,
Still, like, we're in the semifinals.
I'll send you a base which one.
My throat is killing me. Alright, welcome back, guys. We are in Game 3 of Ben Rothman versus Ryan, and this has been an incredible series. Both players playing really well. You know, when you stream, you can't really ask for any better matches, so I'm really happy. And, you know, Ryan has stick with the same strategy, same 4 Pokemon. Last time changing things up a bit, though, going straight to the Polykingdra lead with the Bishop and the Electric. And it's really interesting. Struggle Bug is something that is, you know, normally you think you could just launch off with no problem. But the Bishop threatens the Struggle Bug so much, you can't, if you're on Ben's side, just aggressively Struggle Bug. And here we are going to go into Game 3 of Ben Rothman versus Ryan Lin, just to see who advances to the finals, who gets makes it to play Enosh. Of course, both players now already have 10 championship points. Career challenge is for championship points, while Ryan this time bringing in the Talonflame instead. As Ben, wow, going with the Scyther and Garchomp. This is such an interesting match. The reason why is, you know, Talonflame threatens Scyther, Manectric can HP Ice the Garchomp, Garchomp can Rock Slide. So all these Pokemon have super effective type attacks against each other. Scyther this time not really going to be as useful against these two as it was against Politoed and Kingdra. Now the Talonflames often carry Life Orb or Brave Bird. I actually don't know my calcs too well, so I'm not sure how much damage it would do to that Scyther, but Garchomp's going to switch out on the first turn, not going to want to take an HP Ice, smart switch out there. As the, looks like the Manectric didn't even Mega Evolve. The Scyther is going to switch out into the Rotom. Oh wow, great switch there. Excuse me, I don't know why, for some reason I thought the switches went before the Mega Evolution, but Manectric Mega Evolving there, and that's going to get the Intimidate off onto Kangaskhan, which is big. Now the question is who the Talonflame targets. You'd assume the Rotom Wash Slot, if it ended up oh wow, Talonflame going for the Protect instead. So Manectric going for the Volt Switch onto that Rotom, going to do a decent amount of damage, and let's see what comes in. Ben pulling some nice switches there to put himself in a much better position that I'd say his lead matchup gave him, but we'll see what comes out now. Ryan, of course, this time, in the last 2 games, he brought Politoed, Kingdra, Manectric. Now that he has Talonflame, he has to cut one of those 4 Pokemon, and the question is really what to cut. We saw the Manectric and the Talonflame, and we see the Politoed now, so you have to assume that Ryan's last one is Kingdra, which I agree with, but the thing is, Struggle Bug, you know, if by having Bisharp, you can easily get it, the boost from Struggle Bug. However, Ben's obviously not going to play as aggressively with Struggle Bug, knowing Ryan does have stuff in the back. So perhaps it was the right decision for Ryan to not bring the Bisharp, but we'll see. Talonflame is a threat to the Scyther, but of course Rotom Wash, a really nice way to take care of Talonflame, able to resist both Brave Bird and Flare Blitz and can safely Thunderbolt back. Rotom Wash is pretty happy right now as it is in a very fantastic position. Kangaskhan even threatens a Fake Out right now. So Ben in a very good position, and the Politoed and Talonflame. Talonflame is also very frail, so yeah, I'm not sure if it wants to stay in or not. Talonflame might want to switch out so it can safely Brave Bird to Scyther later on in the game, but it's one of the things about, you know, Talonflame. It hits some Pokemon for really hard damage that gets completely won by others, and if you just, you know, pull some nice switches and get the KO off, it can make things a lot harder. But Ben taking a decent amount of time this turn. Unfortunately, we're not running under no more VGC rules with 45-second timers, and so both players do have a bit more time to think through his turns. We are going to see that Talonflame is going to switch out, so Manectric is going to come back in. That's going to get another Intimidate off onto Kangaskhan. So Kangaskhan's at -2 now. Nice switch there by Ryan. Talonflame, I think, really needs to be conserved in this match to be used properly. Kangaskhan, however, here is going to Mega Evolve. But the question is whether Ben goes for a Fake Out, Power Up Punch, or Return. He's went for all 3 in different scenarios, which is why it's hard to get a read on him. Normally you just expect a Fake Out, but once again, Ben opting to go for a Power Up Punch, and I think this is a really good play. A lot of times, you know, you're tempted to Fake Out with Kangaskhan, but by Power Up Punching, you instantly negate that -2 from the Intimidates. So that's going to bring Kangaskhan back up to neutral. And the eject button is really hurting in Ryan more than anything here. I think he would prefer to attack, but instead the power punch is actually going to send out the poly. So that's going to allow him to safely switch to the Kingdra, but now Rotom is going to be able to Thunderbolt. Rotom does Thunderbolt the Polytoad slot instead of...
And that's the match. Good game. The chorus.
As Kangaskhan now neutral and is going to outspeed Kingdra for the rest of the game, and that was a huge para. Can't stress that. Of course, because of Ben's smart playmaking, knowing that Talonflame not going to do much. Manectric here going to go for the Thunder, and it is going to target the Rotom Wash. That is going to be a KO onto Rotom Wash, and let's see what the Kingdra goes for. Actually, excuse me, the Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan's going to return, going to pick up the KO onto Kingdra. So really one of the biggest sweepers on Ryan's team, instantly knocked out because of the paralysis. Really unfortunate there. Of course, even without it, Ben was still in a fine enough position, but that really completely threw things off. Of course, Thunderbolt has that 10% chance of paralyzing, and that can be really unfortunate, and especially against the Kingdra, which relies entirely on outspeeding its opponents. In this case, not going to be the case. This time, Ben is conserving his Kangaskhan better than the previous games, and because of that, Kangaskhan is just doing absolute work now. We are going to see the Talonflame come back in, though, as Scyther comes back in. Ryan's still not in the worst of positions, quite honestly, but of course Kangaskhan now just scary to deal with in general. It is neutral, did get the power up punch, but the double intimidate from Manectric brought it down to 0. Scyther, honestly, at this point, probably not going to help as much. If you're on Ryan's end, you might actually consider Brave Birding and Thundering the Kangaskhan. However, Kangaskhan looks very bulky, and I think he can take that with a good amount of HP remaining. So Ryan's still in a tough damage. He needs whatever damage he can get off onto that Kang, but Scyther sticking there to get potential struggle bugs off is also annoying. And unfortunately, Ryan did not bring Bisharp into this matchup, so he's not able to Sucker Punch at any point with priority. Talonflame is his last bet at getting priority attacks off. And I don't think he has to worry as much about that Scyther right now, since Scyther, sure can Roost, it can safeguard, but that's not really going to do much. But with Scyther, the couple struggle bugs, that Manectric's special attack might be decreased even more. But if Ryan's able to say get a critical hit with the Brave Bird or a Thunder and pick up the knockout with Kangaskhan, then this battle is still far from over. However, Ben still does have that Garchomp in the back, and Garchomp does a pretty good job of beating the Talonflame. We are going to see Brave Bird come out though. Let's see who it targets. I would definitely target the Kangaskhan, and that is the play that Ryan makes. But you see how bulky that Kangaskhan is, taking it with ease even as the Life Orb comes out. We do see Thunder come out though. Let's see how much damage this Thunder does. Is it faints? Wow. Really nice there. That's exactly what I was saying. I think Ryan really needed to make that play to win. Which is why I was saying he wasn't in that bad of a position because the Brave Bird Thunder. I slightly expected it to survive just because Kangaskhan's relatively bulky, but not enough as Mega Manectric doing work with Thunder. I think we often expect Thunderbolt from the Manectric. Thunderbolt and Volt Switch are both somewhat underwhelming in terms of attack, but now he is able to pick up the KO there. And
so late.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I do. It's just right there. You're still good. Now, sorry, distracted you for a second. Of course, he was able to get the struggle bug off last turn with Scyther, and that was able to decrease the special attack of both Manectric and Talonflame. Not going to matter for Talonflame, but especially important for Manectric. It's pretty powerful, yeah. Ryan commenting his power flying might be coming out, so I clearly, he's got the next meta figured out.
Gen 7, I know all the Pokemon.
Manectric here is going to switch out. We're going to see the Politoed. That's an excellent switch there. Politoed in a really good position now. And we're going to see the Earthquake come out. Obviously, not going to do too much of that Politoed, and now that Politoed has already been eject button, it is going to stay in for the next couple of turns. Just a decent amount, as Scyther takes a boost there, but it's not going to heal back. The rain does stop, though, so water type attacks are decreased. Now it's interesting because the rain is gone, Thunder is actually not 100% accurate, and Politoed just can't switch out because it might just faint to the Manectric might just faint to an Earthquake. So this is a really interesting position. Garchomp fares relatively well to all three of Ryan's Pokemon. Of course, if Ryan's able to safely bring in the Manectric, he can get a super effective hidden power ice off. Otherwise, you know, he doesn't want to switch it in and get the earthquake off. And we are in for quite the match here. The Scyther at this point, I don't think Ryan needs to focus his efforts on Scyther, just because all Scyther can do is struggle bug. Once he brings in the Manectric back in, he just hidden power ice the Garchomp. He might actually consider just Brave Birding Garchomp here, so the Manectric can come in and hidden power ice regardless of whether it gets the -1 from struggle bug or not. But we are going to see the Brave Bird. Let's see who this Brave Bird targets. If Polykill doesn't go down this turn, we might just see an HP Ice KO that Garchomp as well. Brave Bird is going to, wow, it's going to pick up the KO there onto Scyther, and that's going to seal up the game essentially for Ryan, as he'll be able to Ice Beam the he'll be able to Ice Beam here with Polykill or Hidden Power Ice with Manectric. We do see the Rock Slide coming out though. He's going to pick up the KO on Talonflame. Let's see whether it flinches or Polykill or not. Of course, Garchomp not carrying focus after this match anyway. Oh, we are going to see the flinch. Okay, so Ben still win this match. Okay, so Manectric is going to come back in here. It is going to intimidate. That flinch might prove crucial. Now the question is how much Hidden Power Ice can do to this Garchomp. You know, Rock Slide is the move you need to use when you want to still stay in the game, and that might just have kept Ryan in the game. We are going to see Hidden Power Ice here. Let's see how much damage it does. 184, one down. Oh, he goes down!
Oh my god,
Manectric KOE that Garchomp in a fantastic set. Very, very well played by Ryan. He thought it was over after that paralysis. He played really, really well. I'm honestly very impressed by that. Ben losing the Kangaskhan was probably a pretty big mistake early on by not super punching, and Ryan was able to come back into the game. Of course, keeping Kangaskhan was ideal in this matchup. So we're going to see the finals. Ryan's going to go up against Enosh in another 2-1. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll be back.